Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the next session. I hope you found the previous session with Jeffrey Sachs and Mr. Quintarelli as interesting, and I was struck by the positive tone about the opportunities that we're presented with. Our next session is really focusing on sustainable products, and we're going to hear about the climate pledge and sustainable shopping experience. But before we go to our next speaker, we have a video that we'd like to show you that will tell you what are climate pledge friendly products. So hopefully that is ready to roll. Oh, hi. Is that Cara?
Hello, this is.
Hi, is that Cara? Hi. I was expecting a
Yes, this
video,
is.
but
Hi.
okay. Okay. I was okay. Great. So, welcome, Cara. This is Cara Hurst, everybody. She's Vice
Thank
President
you.
for Sustainability. Hi, sorry. It's just a bit of a time lag. Uh, Vice President for Sustainability at Amazon, and you're going to talk to us about the climate pledge friendly products. So, Cara, over to you.
Well, thank you so much for having me today. And I really want to thank the organizers of Euro Consumers for the opportunity to talk to you. My name's Cara Hurst. I'm the Vice President of Worldwide Sustainability at Amazon. And I'm going to cover today a number of things, but a really exciting development around our climate pledge and to talk to you a little bit more about what we're doing at Amazon specifically to address the climate crisis and also do that through some product work. So our programs at Amazon in sustainability include responsible supply chain management, circular economy, frustration-free packaging programs, sustainable transportation, social and environmental policy setting, and a number of different key areas for us. But the main thing to emphasize about all of our work at Amazon is that we are led by science. We have been taking a look at the IPCC reporting as well as a number of peer-reviewed journals on science. And I think all of you here, I'm sure, know that science tells us we have a limited window to make really unprecedented headway to stay below 1.5 degrees of Celsius of global temperature rise by 2050. So when we were looking at the opportunity for our company to use our scale, our size, our speed for innovation. We've been closely watching the evolution of this information externally and thinking about what are the effects of climate change on our planet, as well as what we could bring to this. And the climate pledge was really born out of those discussions with our senior leadership who took a look at all of this and challenged us to move faster and with increased urgency. So in 2019, about a little over a year ago, we co-founded the Climate Pledge with Global Optimism, which is co-founded and led by Tom Rivett-Carnac and Cristiana Figueres, who many of you will know as the architect of the Paris Agreement from 2015. The pledge itself was really inspired by this collective, collaborative effort of the Paris Agreement, but also then by the science, which tells us the timeline to Paris is not enough, and we need to be net zero carbon by 2040, which the pledge details. We also know that we can't tackle climate change alone at Amazon. And we wanted to collaborate with others. So the pledge was born out of an invitation to that collaboration and how companies could come together to send very strong signals about the products and services that are needed to decarbonize our businesses, to address the disruptive risks that we anticipate from climate change, and to really partner for transformational action. So we are very proud at this point to welcome 13 other organizations that have also signed on to this climate pledge that have committed to net zero carbon by 2040. And those include companies, EU headquartered companies such as Henkel, Mercedes-Benz, Siemens, Schneider Electric, Reckitt Benckiser, and we announced yesterday Signify. We even have a football team that has joined on which has been really exciting. And we're really proud to have Real Betis as a member of our team in the pledge. So this is a very exciting group and very fast growing group of leading companies that have committed to this accelerated timeline and to signaling that products and services are needed. And at the highest level, the pledge commits companies to do three things. It's certainly a simple commitment in its language, but very complicated, obviously, in its execution and in the resources, the innovation, the challenge it will take to get us there. But the three things that companies commit to when we sign on to the climate pledge, first is to measure and report greenhouse gas emissions on a regular basis. We all know that transparent reporting is a hallmark of really this kind of commitment and credibility in the pledge. They commit to implementing decarbonizing strategies in line with the Paris Agreement and making real operational changes to our businesses. So these include things like renewable energy, energy efficiency in our operations, sustainable transportation, materials reductions. So that's really at the heart of the pledge, is those operational changes that will make true decarbonization inside of all of our businesses. And lastly, for any remaining emissions, companies commit to neutralize these with natural climate solutions or offsets, but we're very specific in our language around what we think constitutes these natural climate solutions. They need to be real, permanent, socially beneficial, measurable. And this is a really important part, we believe, not just for companies, but for keeping the planet on track to this accelerated fight on climate change and below 1.5 degrees global temperature rise. Because natural climate solutions, as we all know, are a critical part of keeping our planet cool, of creating these carbon sinks. And we need more investment in this area. We consider this to be very much a both and type of solution. So the climate pledge is really a major step forward. It says that even big, complex companies such as Amazon, with a lot of physical infrastructure, can make it an accelerated commitment to net zero emissions on this time frame. And each of these companies will certainly pursue from their industries different paths. They will have a different path, a different journey that they'll be on. They'll require different types of products and services. But we really do believe that working together will be a very important part of how we get there. We also know that partnerships will be an incredibly important part in this collaboration. So not just working with the corporate sector, but of course, many of the organizations that have committed to work on these issues in a cross-sectoral way, a collaborative way. So we're very proud to bring in partners like Race to Zero, that many of you are probably familiar with, a global campaign to rally for a healthy and resilient net zero economy, including leadership from businesses, cities, governments, and investors, a truly multi-sectoral way to go about it. We Mean Business is another partner of ours. Many of you will be familiar with We Mean Business, certainly a leading coalition of over 1,200 companies that have come together to really tackle solutions around climate change and accelerate this net zero transition. We're also partnered with TED Countdown, which I think is a really exciting reach out to the citizenry. It's a global campaign around the climate crisis, which of course TED's superpower is really to turn these ideas into action. And so TED Countdown is specifically focused on the climate crisis to do this, inviting in academia, inviting in cities, inviting in people all over the world to understand more about what they can do there. And we recently announced a new collaboration, which is very exciting for us, with the Linux Foundation. And this is to empower investors and banks, insurers, companies, governments, NGOs, and academia with AI, enhanced open source analytics, and open data to address climate risk and opportunity. And this is a partnership between Allianz, Amazon, Microsoft, S&P Global. So a number of leading partners that are committed to founding on this organization. I'll talk just a little bit now specifically what we're doing inside of Amazon to really implement the climate pledge, but also many areas of our sustainability work. We are what we call a customer obsessed company. And so by working with customers, listening to customers, understanding what they are telling us is needed. We start, of course, with sustainable packaging. And this has been a journey Amazon has been on for well over a decade. Over 10 years ago, we founded something called frustration-free packaging, which is a term I love. It was born out of actually in this holiday season, getting items and trying to unwrap them and having a frustration with all of the material and packaging that are around our products before we can get to them. So frustration-free packaging at its core is around 100% recyclable packaging, no clamshells, no twist ties, no an easy to open experience. But we've built upon that critical foundation and created other programs like Ships in Own Container, where we eliminate the Amazon overbox. So over the many years we've been working on these programs, we have increased the number of products that now ship in their own container and are available in these kinds of frustration-free ways. So we have over 2 million products now available through Amazon's frustration-free packaging programs. We continue to work with thousands of vendors around the world. And to date, in the EU, vendors have eliminated over 120,000 tons of packaging material, which is the equivalent of 176 million boxes. So these are real operational changes, as I mentioned before, that are taking material waste out of our system. It's good for Amazon, it's good for our customer. We've also invented some machine learning algorithms to help us make the smartest packaging decisions, where we know that we are using less material so that items weigh less and they're right sized for our customer orders. So we can pack more into each delivery. We can therefore this goes all the way through, as you might imagine, to fewer trips, fewer trucks on the road, less fuel used. So there's goodness all the way through that packaging material reduction. And if our customers aren't sure around how and where they need to recycle, we have set up a customer-facing website called Amazon Second Chance. And customers can go there to find out what to do with their packaging material, but also with products that they might have in their home, where to return, reuse, refurbish, repair, or recycle those products throughout all of our systems. I also want to talk a minute about how we are engaging our customers and sharing more with them and their ability to shop online for sustainable products. So at the outset, you mentioned Climate Pledge Friendly. It's a program we're very, very excited about. We launched it just several weeks ago in Europe, and it helps our customers. It makes it easier for them to shop and discover sustainable products. So customers in Europe can now shop for over 40,000 products that have been certified Climate Pledge Friendly in this program, and these cross categories like health and beauty, grocery, household, office, electronic products for both our customers and businesses. And these are very clearly marked and shown in our shopping results and have additional sustainability information if customers want to go deeper. So we did this by partnering with a number of very well-regarded external certification bodies, trusted third-party certifications, so that customers can also deep dive if they want on these sustainability standards. These include European certification organizations such as EU Ecolabel, Blue Angel, Nordic Swan, and we're working with more certification partners and products every day to expand this program. As part of this initiative, Amazon has also introduced a new standard called Compact by Design in Europe and the UK, and it's externally validated. It's created by us to identify products that may not always look very different, but they do have a more efficient product design and with, product or packaging. And with the removal then of this excess air and water, products can then require, of course, less packaging and again, are more efficient to ship. And at scale, these small differences can make a really big difference in significant carbon emission reductions as we begin to scale up these programs and more customers look for these types of products. We know our customers also want to reduce their environmental impact when purchasing products online, and we've done a lot of research in this area. So we have a sustainability science team that has been studying this for a number of years. And what's really fascinating as we have looked, of course, we have physical stores, we have Whole Food stores, bookstores, Amazon Go, we have an online shopping business. So we know when we look at the data, we can take a look across and understand the carbon impact of these different models. And we know shopping online is inherently more carbon efficient than going to the store. So we've spent more than 3 years developing and measuring, mapping, creating metrics to understand this and our carbon footprint. And we can see that shopping online consistently generates less carbon than driving to a store, and that a single delivery van trip can take 100 car journeys off the road on average. So across all basket sizes, online grocery deliveries generate 43% less carbon emissions than an item compared to shopping in stores. And smaller basket sizes generate even greater carbon savings. So we'll continue to look at this, and we'll continue to evaluate our models. We'll continue to do things like lean into other ways that we are supporting our sustainability journey, such as renewable energy. So when we launched the pledge, again, over a year ago, we committed to 80% renewable energy by 2024 and 100% by 2030. Globally, we have taken a look at this, and we think we can move faster. So we now are pursuing a path that may get us to 100% by 2025. And we already have more than 90 solar and wind projects in place, including several projects in Europe. Recently, we announced Amazon Wind Farm Sweden, which is our largest fulfillment solar panel installation in the UK, also, and a large-scale renewable energy project in Spain. So those are just a few examples of both how we're using our facilities and installing solar, and also partnering on larger scale wind and solar projects. We know it's also important for our customers that we deliver their products in the most sustainable manner, and that transportation is really a key component of our carbon footprint. So we have a goal called Shipment Zero, which is to get 50% of all Amazon shipments to net zero carbon by 2030. This means that the fulfillment of packages is net zero when the item, what we would call either from pick to porch or slam to shelf. These are terminology we use to describe our fulfillment network. And so when the item is picked off of in our fulfillment network, and we look at how it's transported, the materials that are used, and how it arrives to the customer's door. And so when we look at that, we see a huge opportunity, again, when we are committed to going net zero carbon, to transform our last mile, to transform our fleet, our transportation. And when we announced the pledge, we also announced an order, the largest ever order of electric delivery vehicles placed, 100,000 electric delivery vehicles from a company called Rivian, which is a US-based manufacturer. And we'll begin deployment of those EVs in 2021. We aim to have 10,000 on the road by 2022 and all 100,000 by 2030. We've also, of course, partnered with some of our pledge partners. So going back to Mercedes-Benz, really excited that we just announced the deployment of 1,800 electric vehicles in Europe with Mercedes-Benz vans as a partner, which was their largest ever order of electric delivery vehicles. And this is great for the environment, but the promise of good is even greater for the planet. It's a signal to the marketplace, again, to start developing these products and services, that companies are sending a demand signal that we want these, and we need these types of products as we want to transform our businesses to go faster in the accelerated fight on climate change. Going back to that third part of the pledge, we also know that we need to keep investing in what's next, what is not available to us now. So we have two ways that we're doing that. The first is the Climate Pledge Fund, which we announced in June 2020. It's a $2 billion fund, which is a huge investment in decarbonizing technologies, new innovative solutions, cutting edge technologies that we want to see decarbonize across and implement in our own operations. So this is really about facilitating, again, this transition. And we're investing in companies in multiple industries. These are an initial focus on transportation and logistics, energy generation, storage, utilization, manufacturing, materials, circular economy. And we'll look at things like food and agriculture, regenerative ag practices, new technologies that haven't been invented yet as we begin to deploy the fund. We've made our first 5 investments already, so we're on our way. And we also have a Right Now Climate Fund. And this was announced with the pledge. It's a $100 million investment. We are partnering with the Nature Conservancy globally to really preserve the natural world. So this is about investments that can bring these natural climate solutions to scale. We're particularly proud of one of our first investments out of the fund, which is called the Urban Greening Program in Germany. And this program uses nature-based solutions to help cities become more climate change resilient. It helps city officials and local community organizations really fight climate change by doing a couple of different things. One is reducing flood risk by improving rainwater retention through tree planting, revitalizing urban wetlands, and adapting urban green spaces. We want to reduce extreme heat and pollution by leveraging unused public spaces to plant trees and preserve urban water bodies. And we want to increase urban biodiversity by introducing pollinator-friendly species, climate-resilient plants, and urban grasslands. So I'll end there. I hope these really specific examples have given you an idea of how we are working internally at Amazon to implement the climate pledge. But I also hope you have an invitation to join us, and that comes through loudly and clearly that we want you in the party. We want you to come along with us. We are serious about our commitment in all of these different ways and on behalf of our customers. And we will continue to promote different ways to have sustainable shopping and this collective, collaborative partnership that's going to get us there. So thank you very much for the opportunity to allow me to share this information with you today.
Find sustainability information about the purchases. I mean, it not only helps them to make more informed choices, but empowers them to take on a leading role in the path towards sustainability. And making this possible by giving more consumers across Europe a new way to discover and shop for a wider range of sustainable products is an important step ahead. So thank you, Cara. I think we are going to be able to show the video now. And just to let you know that after the video, we will be moving to the BEXT awards ceremony for some of the most consumer friendly and sustainable companies out there on the market. But I think we can run the video now, if I'm not mistaken.